Hello, everybody. Why don't vocal exercises work for you? We all know this feeling, right? The feeling of frustration. You seem to be doing everything right, everything by the book. You put in the hours, you put in the reps, everything seems to be going good. You're getting better at doing the exercises, but then you go to sing a song, especially you go to sing the high part of the song that you always wanted to sing, and it all just falls apart. You still just cannot do it. Why is that? Well, let's talk about it. Now, there's a lot of vocal coaches out there, and there's a lot of training courses, there's a lot of programs, you name it, there's a lot of that stuff. But what there's very little of, I find, is actual talk about the underlying issue that keeps so many aspiring singers from actually reaching their singing goals and reaching that voice that they want. And that is the fact that they are stuck in a coordination that cannot be improved. It cannot be improved no matter what they do. And yes, that might mean that all the training that you have done so far actually didn't make much sense, because that's a harsh reality, but it might be true for you. But there's a light in the tunnel, because if you realize this now, that you have been wasting your time basically developing a coordination that will not go past a certain point, you can now make a U-turn and actually turn around and go into the light. You can go into the right idea. And that's what I'm going to try and explain to you today. So what is the problem? What is the coordination that cannot be improved past a certain point? Well, it's the coordination that lacks chord closure. And before you click off this video, because you're going to be like, oh, I've heard 1,000 times about chord closure, I've done all the go-go-goes, ba-ba-bas, all the exercises that are said to be designed to get you into a coordination with your vocal cords closed. I'm going to tell you that what you need is a different approach to chord closure, because there are so many vocal coaches out there and so many singers obsessed with the idea of staying relaxed, of letting it go, of making sure that you have absolutely no stress, no tension, no strain, no nothing on your voice. And that is a dead end. That is a dead end. It may work for some people, but what I find for my voice, it does not work. It kept me stuck for years. What I actually needed to do, and what you may need to do as well, is to actually put some physical effort into your vocal training. Because if you don't do that, you may be stuck for next weeks, months, the coming years, without much progress. And that is something that we certainly do not want. We, as singers, we want progress to happen as fast as we can so that we can move on to other things, right? Training should just be a part of all this, the first step to then build on top of. So you want fast results, and you want a voice that is firm, and you want a voice that once you reach those high notes, you know that they're always going to be there. And for that to happen, you need the chord closure to be just absolutely firm. You need to be sure of it. You need to be sure that whatever you are going to sing, it's going to happen. And the note is going to be there waiting for you to hit it, okay? You're not going to chase it with your eyes and then, wonder why this whole thing doesn't work. So what we're going to try and do today is we're going to start this process, because it is a process, and it might take you some time. It's not something that happens in a day, but it's also not something that's going to take you years, okay? This is going to happen fast, but don't expect it to work in, you know, an hour. Although you might find this coordination in an hour, and then you can build on top of it. And within weeks, within days, within weeks, you're gonna see just crucial improvement to your voice, and you're gonna be loving the way that you can sing after you do what I'm about to tell you. It's not really an exercise. Exercises come after that. We are now trying to build a coordination that lets you utilize your voice also in the higher range. And so after you've done that, then you can move to exercises that target specific ideas and that will let you improve on anything you want, really. But this is not really an exercise. This is a way of finally finding the coordination that lets you grow. Okay? All right, so I find that the best way to do that is just a straight vowel. We might go for an ah vowel. Ah, whatever. Let's pick a note. Whatever note. Let's say a G4. So let's say we're gonna go from a G3 to a G4. I don't know if my guitar is tuned correctly, but whatever. All right. So we're not going for pretty here. Okay, that's what I want you to understand right away. That we're not trying to sing here. This is not about singing. We are finding a coordination in our voice that works. So, what did I do? What did I do to achieve zero change in volume, basically? Maybe I was even a little less loud on top, but I kept the quality of the voice, the sound of the voice, I kept it basically the same. I didn't flip, I didn't break. It was a smooth motion from the bottom to the top. I don't know if I hit exactly the notes that I played before, but it doesn't really matter. I moved through my bridge and it was all connected. And I could sustain the note up high, and it wasn't in any way a struggle for me. You could see in my face, nothing really happened. Why? Well, here we come to the part that matters. And that's the idea that chord closure is misunderstood. On many levels, it is misunderstood by other vocal coaches as well, and especially by aspiring singers, because vocal cord closure is a system. Okay, it is like a system of working parts here in your vocal tract, in your breathing, in your body, basically. So we can have chord closure here on these lower notes in a coordination like this, like you're speaking. This is my chords are closing. I'm just speaking normally. But once you go higher, a couple things need to happen. First of all, you need to find some squeeze. You need to find some squeeze in your vocal cords. Okay? Now this might sound contrary to what all the other teachers are trying to say, but it's really crucial. You have to find some squeeze, some tension in there. What's very important, not here. All the muscles here, you need to be absolutely disengaged here. Like I'm talking right now, I can just push my thumb here and nothing's going on. I can just, it's very free. nothing comes out here. My muscles are not stiff. I can push my thumb in there. When you're doing this exercise, it has to be the same. This is very crucial. If when doing it, the muscles pop out here, you're doing it wrong. You're not actually training the proper muscles. So we're trying to find, I'm actually trying to go, that's the coordination. I am restricting the air, but not only with my vocal cords. I am using this chamber of air here that I've got. It's not about excessive breathing. You don't have to do that. No, you don't have to do that at all. You breathe normally, but then on the exhale, it has to be a controlled motion. You need to be the one in charge of how much air is coming out through your body. Okay? So if we take that G4, not much is going on really, although I am using these muscles here to really okay, but nothing's going on here. Nothing. This doesn't engage. Now another thing is, when we're doing this first step today, don't really try and be concerned with your larynx too much. It might go up a little, and that's fine. We're just starting out here. This is going to be a new coordination for you. So if your larynx goes a little bit higher, it's completely fine. What we're focusing on here is this, and that there's no pain, okay? If you feel any pain, if something's itching, something's wrong, you feel like you have to cough, and it shouldn't hurt at all. This shouldn't hurt one bit. Not even for a split second, okay? You shouldn't feel absolutely any pain doing this. Nothing. If you feel some pain, it's possible that you're simply letting out too much air while trying to keep the cords closed, and then you're kind of using your cords as a dam to the air that's coming out. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing is we're trying to connect these two mechanisms to work together. So the breath, we are restricting the breath by simply trying to breathe out less, okay? And then we're closing the cords on top of that. It's not that we are breathing out the normal amount and then closing the cords, and trying to keep that air from coming out. No, that is the wrong approach. That's not how we do it. You moderate the airflow by using airflow moderation, okay? You need to try to exhale less. See how little air you need to actually get the sound to come out and to close the cords, okay? That is the idea. That is the winning formula for effortless high singing. I hope you're gonna have fun with this. Like I said, no pain. It does not hurt. If it hurts, stop, come back maybe an hour later, maybe a day later, and see if you can, because this is about finding a balance. This is about finding a coordination. If you simply ram into it, endlessly for an hour, and it just hurts, you're not getting anywhere with this. You need to find this balance where it just starts to come together and work. Another thing is the volume. I talked about volume, but this is important. I do not change the volume. The volume basically stays the same. It might sound a little bit louder because there's a lot of resonance once you go into the higher voice. There's a lot of resonance happening, and the vocal cords are closed, and so the sound is kind of sharper, but the volume itself is pretty much the same. So when we're going up, it might sound, because this is I'm recording this on a telephone, so it might sound a little louder, but it's not really. I'm not doing anything to, push a lot of air, to push a lot of volume, no. I'm trying for the volume to stay the same, and that's what you should do as well. When you approach that break, wherever it might be for you, maybe an F, maybe an E, say an F. Oh. See how little air you need. The least air that you need to keep the chords closed and the sound firm and chesty sounding. It sounds like chest voice still. It doesn't change the quality. And then you can move it up. Whatever you want, you can do. Don't go overboard with it, because we're making, the first steps. So there you are. I hope this wasn't boring. I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope the demonstrations were helpful. And I hope that you're gonna have fun discovering some new things about your voice, perhaps. If you want help with your voice, you can send me an email, you can send me a recording of your singing, you can schedule a one-on-one vocal lesson with me. So definitely don't hesitate if you feel like you need some more explanations, if you feel like you need any help on any part of your voice, please hit me up and we'll schedule a lesson over the internet, okay? Thank you very much, and see you in the next one, because these are gonna keep coming. This is just the beginning of our journey together, so have a good one. Bye-bye.